Your father's an engineer, Sue. You never told me. Maybe because I forgot myself. Oh, isn't this romantic, Carrie, eh? Different show this week. As you can see, our gang here, well, they're all going through a very romantic stage of their life. And deeply engrossed into some of these wonderful girly and boy-y magazines. And you, Carrie, what are you doing? This is Carrie, new girl on the show. How are you doing, Carrie?
All right, look. I wonder where the front of my costume had gone.
That's what I was trying to hide with the comic. Was that your thing in the dressing room last night? I cut a little bit off the bottom.
Yeah, I wonder. It had long legs.
Well, I think it looks nice. It looks very nice to you.
Very nice.
Anyway, welcome to Freeze Frame. As you can see, we have a lot of fun today, and we're all having a good read.
Yep.
On the show today, we've got John Miller. Have you heard of John Miller?
Not as yet.
You will do, I'll tell you that. We have pop guest Cook Dab Books. I've got to mention more gang.
The rent from the land.
Noise now, because you've got to be proud of it. They're from Plymouth Comprehensive. Hooray! Brilliant. Well, we have a wonderful gentleman on comics and magazines. All adds up to a good one, doesn't it?
Yep.
But let's kick off with some music.
We're still doing our marathon of reading magazines here. Now, what I want to know is, there's quite a lot of illustrations in these magazines, aren't there? Do you find that when you read a story, it has any relevance to the story, or you look at the pictures when you're reading them?
Oh, yeah.
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 Some of them are great in here, actually. There's some great ones by Garry Cobb, which I know does a lot of work for these magazines. This particular one's great.
Of my next guest, Garry Cobb. Welcome to Freeze Frame.
Thank you, Ian.
How long have you been illustrating magazines?
For 6 years. Ian, why are we talking like this?
I don't know. Roll VTR. Oh, that's better. Garry, I'm very, very impressed by your artwork. When did you first realise you had this talent?
Well, I started in the Southwest. I had a very, very good art master, Mr. Andrews. He's retired now. I left Cornwall for London, and my style is very soft and sensitive and does respond very well to romantic illustrations. My agents, PWA, syndicate my work to 9 countries so far. I hope to make it over to the States this year. Mm-hmm. The sort of magazines I brought along with me is just to show you. This is Teen Magazine. This is based in Los Angeles.
Yes.
That has romantic illustrations in, not very good ones.
What about the magazines at home that people might be reading now, for instance?
I illustrate in Jackie, Patches, Blue Jeans. I have a regular spot in Susie coming up soon where I illustrate stars, I think Simon Le Bon, Eurythmics and Tracy Ullman are coming up shortly. I illustrate also for True Romances magazine, which has got very young over the past few months.
Still with this romance feel, what do you do? Do you illustrate first and then they write a story around that, or is it vice versa?
No, in 80% of my illustrations are done on spec, which means I do the illustration and they find someone to write around my illustration, which is very good for me because I can more or less do what I want. And of course I then sell it again to other countries.
Not only magazines have you been illustrating for, but things like LP covers. I know you've done a couple. We can see one here, which is a sort of reggae album. Not your typical style of illustrating, more of the sort of comic stuff, isn't it?
No, more of an embarrassment for me. That was about 6 years ago when I was desperate for work. I'd do anything, and did a reggae cover.
Well, you did a fine job. Keep on illustrating. It's terrific to look at. Thank you very much indeed, Garry.
Thank you.
Well, from Garry, here's Carrie.
Thanks, Ian. Now, you've got to look out for some of Gary's work because it really is terrific. Now, we're going to have a wacky Porky Pig cartoon now. It's Engine Trouble.
Porky, better scout on ahead. Keep a sharp lookout for Injun Joe. Varmint. Okay, Chiefy. Joe!
I know something I won't tell.
What is it?
Well, it's just that... well, it's a... I know something I won't tell.
What do you know?
Well, it's a secret. I know something I won't tell. I won't tell. I won't tell. I know something I won't.
What do you know, huh?
It's just that Injun Joe is ticklish.
Oh, wait! Do 'em some more?
And why do we smile? You may think it's all very obvious. When you're happy, you go, like that. But why do it? Most animals don't do that. Some do. Cats do. He's got into my item. I don't know. They all like to come in with me, don't they? Well, the point is, one theory is this, that when we're babies, we drink milk. If we're mammals, as you know, we all do. And you suck milk when you're a baby, either direct from mum or from a bottle, like this. And when a baby sucks, it's got to have a lot of energy for the little thing like that. Mouth's got to push up like that, and you're... See? Now, when I've finished and is feeling content and happy, the reaction to having a mouth like that is to let it go the other way. So that that position becomes associated with feeling of well-being or greeting and happy, and that's why we smile. Cats can smile, actually, but cats can't laugh. And when you think of what laughing is, which is a very complex mechanism for the human body to do, why do we laugh? Now, or rather, how do we laugh? I don't know why we laugh either, but since you don't laugh, do you mind going? Because I've got to get somebody in who can laugh, you see? There you are, good puss. Now, Ian can laugh, I think.
Not at your jokes.
Because what happens is this. If you look at it, or think of it in slow motion next time you see somebody laughing, try and realise what's happening. A breath is taken in, and it's allowed out in uneven bursts. You bring your blood pressure up and go, don't laugh yet, and you go, ha, 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 ha. It comes out in short bursts. I don't know why. It's because we think something's funny. At the same time, very often, we'll screw our eyes up, which is a sensible thing to do, because having risen, the blood pressure having been pushed up, you can break these tiny little vessels all around the eye, which is what gives you a black eye if you get hit in the eye. So if you laugh too much without doing that, you could get a sort of black eye. Well, now, there are different sorts of laughter, and one type of laughter, before we try your laughter to demonstrate it, sounds rather like this. You'll hear a bit of laughter now, which is what they actually put into some programmes when the audience have fallen asleep. Just listen to this. Yeah, they do, because the programme's not as funny as they think it is, because laughter is infectious, and one person laughs very often, someone else does. Now, can you do a laugh for us?
Well, I can tell you a joke, maybe I'll laugh.
You're the only one who laughs at your jokes. Try, quickly.
I'll tell you the joke about the... Well, I was going to tell you the joke about the roof, but it's a bit above your head. It's a bit above your head.
Keep going. Now you see what's happening.
No,
keep laughing.
It wasn't that funny.
Keep laughing.
All right, I'm going to keep laughing.
Keep laughing.
All right, tell me something else. Tell me something
just
funny.
laugh, would
All
you?
right, I'm laughing.
What about... Yeah, good. You see what he's having to take air in, bring it out an uneven... Keep laughing, Brett. Screw his eyes up in case he gets a black eye. And he's doing all that just because you thought something was funny, which is an extraordinary thing to do, really. But I don't know. What about this girlfriend you had when we went to America? Yvette, yes. That makes you laugh. There he goes again. Never mind. Next time you laugh amongst yourselves, watch and see what it's like, because it's extremely complicated. Now, up to fairly recently, you used to be able to use machines that laughed for you. Since laughter is infectious, if you're feeling downhearted, you did. And we used a machine like this.
Isn't it wonderful? That comes from the Wookiee Fairground Museum in Wells, in Somerset. Isn't it nice?
Marvellous. And you put a penny in, but not a modern penny, which is this size here. It's an old penny, which is about, if I'm right, well, they were given up about 14 years ago, correct me if I'm wrong. This is the penny you have to use. So that's why it's in a museum. So we'll put that in and see if we can make Jolly Jack Tar laugh. Now, it's a very complicated mechanism, even for him. And if you look inside, all that has to go on. When Ian was laughing, much more was going on inside him than there. And just because he thinks he's seen a joke. So that's how we laugh, but why we laugh's another matter I'm not prepared to go into. So there you are. That's laughter.
Hey, that was really good. Doesn't he look like John Miller, eh? They could make a lovely set of twins. Off we go now to pop predictions, and we start with Deep Purple.
And up.
Are you you're into the heavy head banging music?
Well, not so much the look, but I think that tune's actually quite good. Good little ditty.
Ditty. I've
Good
never heard it
little
called a
ditty.
ditty. We can pick them here, you know. Do you remember Strawberry Switchblade 2 or 3 months ago? We're up in the top 10 now. You saw them first on this show. We mustn't boast. On we go now to Tracy Ullman and her new single, Terry. There she goes, Tracy Ullman and Terry. What did you think of it?
It was good. It was clever.
How important do you think a video is with a pop song nowadays?
Oh, I think it's quite important, yeah.
What about Tracy Ullman? Do you like her?
Yeah, I think she makes quite good videos.
That's what a lot of people say about Tracy Ullman. She makes really good videos. Never mind the song. OK, on to our third and free pop predictions. All on their way up. OK, have a look at this.
Brings back memories, doesn't it? The original Thunderbirds. I have here with me Andy Dawson and Gavin Robertson, who are part of the Mime Theatre project. Now, the question that I suppose is on everyone's mind is, why Thunderbirds?
Well, we came together after working professionally in mime and theatre for a number of years, and we wanted to put together a show which was quite serious and had kind of an idea of conflict. And then we had this great idea of sort of using Thunderbirds at the end of it as like a satirical point to actually kind of make the whole show much more ludicrous.
Idea, yes. I mean, the original Thunderbirds was very extravagant and very active. How do you manage to recreate this on stage live?
Well, what we remember from the Thunderbirds is the colour and the explosion. So we have costumes based on the original designs, and we're also very lucky in that Jerry Anderson let us use his studios to build models of Thunderbird 1 and Thunderbird 2,
Great.
which we can see in a photograph. They're made out of polystyrene, and we use vocal sounds as well as our mime skills.
Great, aren't they?
Yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah, they're quite
really good.
They're reasonably heavy, but they work well on stage. You know?
And who does all the costumes? I mean, is that left to another department or?
Well, Andy made most of the props, apart from the base costumes, which were made by
as well. Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Now, you did the London International Mime Festival, didn't you? And you had
Right.
sell-out dates in London, and you've done a tour in Scotland. I mean, it's endless. So what's next for Thunderbirds?
Well, we're taking a couple of months off to do some other work. Then we hope to go to Scotland again, Merseyside, back in London. But hopefully we'd like to take it abroad. Japan has a great following for Thunderbirds. You can still buy all the kits and it's still seen on TV over there and everything.
Right.
So hopefully we'd like to take it over there.
I mean, it seemed to run for years, the actual series, didn't it?
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
That's right.
Great. We've got to get rid of you now, haven't we?
Yes, you have.
So you better scoot.
Okay.
Now, can you tell us what the actual thing you're going to be doing now is about?
Yeah, it's part of the show where the world president is trapped in a tube of rising water and the Thunderbirds hopefully are on the way to rescue him from a desperate situation.
Right. Thunderbirds because they could be in your area later on this year. And now for that group that...
Cargo down to Florida. You see, we go back to our wonderful little trawl in Florida. And they always say one thing about this business, John, never work with children and animals, and also rockets.
I always work with children and animals, but not with rockets.
Very unpredictable things.
But on this occasion, we certainly found an animal that I'm very, very interested in indeed, and I was delighted to find one. Now look at that. That's the very first armadillo I've ever seen in the wild. Now I've often had armadillos. I've had them in studios, I've had them in the zoos, but I've never seen one in the wild. It's marvellous. Just have a look. This armadillo's not where you might think it ought to be.
It's very strange how things happen, John. We were meant to be watching a space shuttle take off today, and because of Mother Nature, when you think of all the money they spend on these on the space program, and Mother Nature stopped it because of veering wind.
I know.
Incredible, isn't it?
Just when we happened to be here.
So they let us walk into the Space Museum here at the Kennedy Space Center. And what I'm leaning next to now didn't actually go into space. This was a recovery capsule that they used to get all the rescue services
called a boilerplate capsule,
boilerplate,
because it was made of boilerplate steel. I don't think that would have done very well in space.
And look at the gantry behind us there. Isn't that incredible?
It's one of the original ones, I think.
Was it?
Yes.
Dates back. You must remember the date of that, John. But you've got something even more interesting that
I know,
dates
because
back.
there's so many things of interest here. Just come and have a look at this. Now, this is a V1. Before your time, no doubt, but I used to be on the wrong end of these in London during the war. Towards the end of the war, the Germans were firing these off across the channel. They used to fly the rocket on the top, made it go, and it's like a little aeroplane with no pilot, and it used to get over London, that's what it was aimed at, and then the engine used to cut, and then there was an awful 5, I think it was, or 8 seconds, and then you heard the bang. You were under the table by then, if you had any sense, and this went on and on and on for quite a long time. And in actual fact, it's fairly true to say that it was the beginning of the space program, because from these they developed the whole science of modern rocketry, and, you know, we've got the rockets that we've got today. So I suppose the buzz bomb, we used to call it, did redeem itself a little bit.
These things, a lot of them are obviously dated now because they now recover rockets. They come back with the shuttle, obviously. The other ones were expendable. It's changed the whole program, hasn't it?
Oh, yes, completely. Come over and have a look at this. It doesn't look terribly interesting, perhaps, until you realise what it does. It just looks like a plain, rather large rocket. And yet this is the original Polaris rocket that is fired from a submarine underwater. And when you think they've got not more than one of these things in a submarine, which is small enough, and they're fired up. Now, the ones they make today, developed from these, are bigger. It's amazing to think all this lot goes up from underwater.
What about the balloon flying above us? We saw earlier a balloon tethered. Now, that was interesting, because that has to do with the space program.
That, once again, takes me back to wartime England, reminds me of the dear old Barras balloons. But that's up there for a different purpose. It's actually monitoring the area to see that there's no low-flying aircraft or ships in the way of any rockets that are going to take off from here for whatever reason, including the shuttle, I presume.
Apart from the ones you've mentioned, is there anything else that you really like here at the museum?
Yes, let's go and have a look at a few of the others, shall we?
Right.
I mean, just look at this. I can't imagine this going up in the air, can you?
I can't imagine you getting inside it, John, especially these little capsules. Incredible, isn't it?
I know, yes. But some of the rockets, just look at these here. And this one, marvellous thing. Oh, I'd love to have seen that go.
Could you imagine you and I in this 2 weeks, orbiting the Earth? Do you think we'd fall out?
I can imagine myself doing it, yes. I don't know about with you. I'd rather we were in 2 separate ones, if you don't mind. No, but I'd love to have seen a lot of these working, and I should imagine having all these exhibits here is very good because schools come round here. It's a marvellous programme for different people. And to see what the things were, because with modern developments, getting bigger and better, they become out of date surprisingly quickly.
Right, on we go to Soft Spot, and Soft Spot with a little difference today. We have here a magazine, an excellent computer magazine called Crash. It's totally involved with the Sinclair Spectrum. And we have Matthew Uffindel with us this morning, who contributes to this magazine. What is your actual position?
My actual position is senior reviewer of all reviews for the magazine.
But you're only 18.
I'm only 18, but as it happened, the magazine wanted something that was fairly young and knew quite a bit about the market.
But where did you gain your sort of journalistic experience?
Journalistic experience? You don't. You're either a good games player and good at, say, English maybe,
yeah,
which doesn't have an L in the end in it. But really, it doesn't really matter.
So we've got a game here, and you've brought a young reviewer along with you. I mean, somebody even younger at 14,
yeah.
And that's Robin. And how many people like Robin would you have involved with Crash Magazine?
5 or 6, but we usually have 3 at least reviewing all the time.
Well, we've got a problem here on Soft Spot, on Freeze Frame, is that we'd like young people at home to write to us and say that they think they could review some of the games, because they could help us out a lot here. And how do you look for a reviewer? Do they write to you?
No, they don't write for us. Usually we find reviewers when they come to our mail order department, but we do accept offers further afield if it's viable. But qualities they need, really, are to be a good games player.
Good games player.
Yeah.
Well, Robin Candy, let's see how well you do. The game we're seeing here is called what?
Night Law.
Night Law. OK, let's play and tell us all about the review. Off you go.
Well, the aim of the game is to free yourself from becoming a werewolf.
Right.
And you become a werewolf when it's night time, and you have 40 days to collect charms and put them in a cauldron.
Is this what this little chap is doing there here? Right?
Yeah. In a sequence. And when you got to do 14 objects in the cauldron to actually complete the game. But the objects are mainly situated in the hardest place to get in the room.
What about the actual review? At the end of the day, would you say, yes, it's either brilliant or it's poor, or do you have a different rating system for the reader?
Well, we have a percentage system, and if a game gets 80s or 90s, then we generally call it a crash smash, which is it's a hit as far as we're concerned. But otherwise, readers have different standards of their games. Like one person might like a game that gets 60%, while others will only like games that get 80%. So it's left up to the...
So your overall opinion of this one?
Well, it's very good. The only drawback it has is that it's £10.
£10, and that is expensive nowadays, isn't it?
Yes, for an average game, usually between £5 and £6.
But then again, it's the old saying, you get what you pay for, really, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it is an excellent game in itself, and a lot of effort has gone into it.
Wow.
So.
Thank you very much for your time and for your recommendation. So the name of that game again is?
Night Law.
Night Law. So give it a go. It's cost you £10, but well worth it. Right, I think it's time for some pop guests. Where's Carrie?
Guests in the studio today are Cooked Books, and they're going to give us an example of their single, which is Golden Age. Am I right in saying you've got a new album coming out soon?
Yes, in March.
And that's called?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Take it away, boys.
While here inside me, my lonely heart could die. I'm out on an ocean, emotions slip away. I thought that this was nighttime, but fate has turned away. This is the golden age. I'm caught in a corner, and the corner's in my mind. A lonely trumpet sounds, I hear it all the time. I'm like a plastic man, I'm lifeless, dead alive. I'm looking at myself and how I should have tried. Telling
Golden Age. There is the single there. Well, we have digs here from the band.
Can I have that, because I haven't got one?
I mean, you can have that one. Now, a lot of people have said, I've never heard of Cook the Books, but you've had a #1 in a few countries. What countries have you had the hit?
France, Holland, Germany, was it? All over, I got that.
It was to do with a film, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a French movie called La Boom, which was like, it was just a soundtrack to that.
Did that surprise you, getting a #1 in any country?
Oh, yeah. Bouncy, wasn't it? Like?
So you're big stars in France. You cannot walk down Paris without being attacked by young girls.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah. Well, we all put on French accents here, and they can do it for you. But what the new album, is this a typical sort of style of Cook the Books?
Yeah. Well, this is like an update on the material that I've been doing.
Well, we had a Liverpool band last week called This Island Earth. There's so much talent from your part of the world, and we wish you the very best of luck and hope to see you back here again soon.
Thanks very much.
Lads, thanks very much indeed. Thank you. Give them a round of applause. Didn't they? Well, Carrie, have you enjoyed yourself?
It's been brilliant.
It's been brilliant. Brilliant. It's been really brilliant. And you can have me talk. You can have that back and put it on the end of your thing now. We'll see you next week. That's it from us all. Thanks to our gang from Plymouth. Thank you. Yeah. Simpson and Solid. Bye-bye.